Wait here, P. Ooh, too bright. Perhaps not the best idea. Let's go back inside. Hey guys, so I'm back for another review. I was outside mowing the grass. I'm super sweaty. But I thought I would take this opportunity to give you guys my review on the Desio Attitude Collection in Toric. So you already, or at least you probably already saw the review I did on Solotica. I'm going to do... Ooh, someone's walking on the street. Fozzie, please be quiet, piglet. Anyway, so today I'm going to talk about Desio because, you know, those were annuals. So once the year is up, get a new pair. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to go year two Solotica or if I wanted to try and switch. Now, I will say that Desio is more expensive. That was a big part of also why I chose to begin with Solotica. The price point was better for me and I really loved the color that I got. So I felt like it was a good first choice. But I do want to try Desio this time around because I actually have used Desio long before I used Solotica, but not in Toric. And I used to get the wild green back when my LASIK was still working. So newsflash, it's not for life. It lasts 10 years was how long mine lasted before it wore off and I started noticing I was blind again. I really couldn't see. So I'm back to wearing contacts for a prescription, not for fun. So anyway, so here I am. I'm thinking, you know, I already love the wild green color by Desio. It was my original choice. Then with Toric and my LASIK not working anymore, I got the Solotica, and so here I am once again with my friend Desio, and I actually did the precious gray color. Where's the label? There. It's a shiny label, so my camera is probably not going to be able to pick it up, but I'm a little sad. I'm so used to the Solotica ones being such a bright and beautiful light color that I feel these are a little dark for me. You may or may not agree, but I'm going to go ahead and zoom in so you can really check them out. And I already cleaned off my fingers because I have particles of grass and stuff probably in my hair still. But I'm just going to show you what we're working with. So you see, I naturally have green. I have a forest green ring, a lighter green middle, and then it turns to brown, which is the part I don't like. I don't like the brown part. So this is going on top of that. Now the brown you see here, some of it is actually a part of the contact itself. So you can see it has a little brown halo. See that? I think their reasoning is that they're figuring most people wearing these probably have the inner part brown. Even though my eye isn't 100% brown, it seems like brown seems to be a common thread for that middle area when it comes to different colors of eyes. So I think that was their reasoning behind mixing the two. I personally don't think it really benefits because if you're going to scrutinize that close to someone's eye, you can see if I look sideways, I mean, you'll still be able to see depth. You'll still be able to see that this is on top and my real color's down below because your lens is clear and we're putting this on top of your natural clear lens. So again, I know why, I'm guessing why they did that, made that choice, but I really don't feel like it's gonna perform. It's one of those great in theory, not in practice sort of things. But that's my personal view. You might love it. You might think it's a great idea. But I personally just feel like it tones the overall color down just like it does with my natural eye color. I would like to not have the brown in my natural eye because then I would naturally just have green eyes, which I think would be great. But the brown, even though it's not over the entire eye, it really does overpower any other colors that you have. And I feel like it's doing the same with these contacts. This precious gray color, although the actual gray parts here are light, I feel like when you take in the whole color, the brown still, to me, it carries a heavier weight. And so it seems to be more obvious than the gray part. Anyway, it could just be because I'm so used to my super, super light Solotica lenses that these appear dark to me. So you could be sitting there saying, you're crazy. Those are not dark at all. They are light. I feel like in the grand scheme of grays, it's probably a medium gray. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap out colors. I'm going to keep my right one in, and I'm just going to swap out the left so you guys can get a good comparison. So I'm going to start by now, because I have long nails, I take my contacts out kind of weird. I just do it like that. Now, when you look at it in the solution, let me see if I can give you a view. You see how it almost looks orange. But anyway, it's very obvious in the solution, whereas the Solotica lens almost disappears. It's so light. So there's that one. Now, for comparison's sake, I'm going to put in my Solotica lens so that you can see that one. And Toric, so let me get the little dash line so you can see the color much lighter by comparison. Actually, I think one of my lashes was interfering. Okay. Oh, yeah. So, a little bit of watering. That's pretty normal. I did just touch my eye. Okay. So, oh, geez. I look like I'm such a mess. Alrighty. So, yeah, they're darker. They're definitely darker. So if you're one of those people who thought, gee, you know, that the Solotica colors are so light, I mean, Parati, I just won't wear. It's too light for me. If you still feel like the Ipanema, which is what this is too light for you, you'll love these. So let me focus on me, please. Okay. Well, anyway, you should be able to see a difference there. So the Desio gray is a little bit darker, plus the ring is darker. But that's pretty iconic of Desio. Solotica's got a much paler ring. And the brown in the middle, that's my eye. So you're not seeing the contact. So if I look sideways, you should be able to see that. Okay. Now, I will post in the description my actual like eye size, because I have a fear that some people are buying these not realizing that it's like buying a shoe. You need to get the right size. And because I did see some comments on my Solotica video that were a little concerning to me, that people were saying, gosh, that size is so irregular or not normal. And I'm like, you should be buying whatever your size is regardless. I mean, I understand a size 6 shoe is not the average, but if you're not a 6, please don't buy a 6. It's gonna hurt. You're not even gonna be able to put it on. So anyway, that's just my word of caution is I made that video assuming if you guys wore toric lenses that you must know that you have a prescription and you need to get it right, because we have more parameters to meet than any other prescription. You know, we have cylinder, for instance. You know, we just have it's more than just the power. My eye like running is like making my nose run. But anyway, so I'm not an optometrist. I don't want you getting hurt. Please don't wear a lens that isn't your size. A lens that is too small will quite literally pinch your eye, and you don't want that. It would be very uncomfortable. I think you could be worse by getting one that's too big, because when it's too big, it won't sit right. It will shift every single time you blink, which means it's scratching and scratching and scratching. So it will be uncomfortable, but I think a lens that is too big for you will actually damage the cornea. So please get the right size, just like you could probably damage your foot wearing a shoe that is way too small or way too big. Please just get the right size. I mean, again, I'm going to leave my measurements so you guys can compare. You can be off by one small amount. Like if you're an 8.6, you could probably get an 8.5, but I just try to get one that's exactly your size. So anyway, long story. So this is the wild green. You can see that green. I just love these. And when I put it next to my eye, you'll be able to see like that really pretty green part that I really like, the dark green with that dusty green. It's like that's what this whole contact is. So for me, this was the most natural contact I've ever worn, because for me, it seemed like a real color. But anyway, this is not toric, so I'm just going to pop this one in. Okay. All right, and they are so pretty. So pretty. Blink a couple times so they can sit right. Okay. So of course the wild green ones are not toric, which means they don't have the weighted bottom. They're also monthlies, so they're a lot thinner. So by comparison, wearing the two, obviously this side feels more comfortable than this side, but it is what it is. Toric lenses are uncomfortable by a small margin, just off the bat. So let's talk about comfort. And again, this, even though the name says wild green, it's not wild as in like crazy green. I feel like green is such a hard contact color to find that looks good. And again, I mean, my idea of natural, of course, is off of myself. So maybe you think this is an unnatural color. But for me, looking at it, I've tried a lot of greens. They were all crazy, like Esmeralda. And I'm not saying no one has ever had that color naturally, but I look at it and greens are just a big no, not because I don't like green. I love green. It's my favorite color. But for some reason, green lenses seem to look the craziest. Actually, second to blue. I've yet to find a blue that I legitimately like and think looks good. Blues are crazy, and then greens come second. So, saying that, I'm going to tell you, this green, though, so pretty. It's, oh my gosh, I'm melting. It is, I don't know. It's like I said, it's the prettiest parts of my natural eye that I like without the brown, which is like, yay. But I just think it's such a great color. So if you're looking for green, you got green, and it's not some crazy emerald bright green. It's like sea foam almost, really pretty. So we'll, trying not to dip into all my stuff down here, but okay, you should be able to see now. So this is a comparison in color. Precious gray right here versus wild green here. And again, I'm in front of a window, which is why I'm doing my video here. So in this window, I have natural light. So my iris is shrunken in just a little bit, so my natural color shows through. I want you guys to see this, because if you're self-conscious about wearing colored lenses, this is something to think about. So you can see my natural brown showing, looking to the side. So this is pretty close. I mean, from my camera eye here, this is less than a foot. So someone would have to be, this is not talking distance, by the way. Talking distance is, I think this is about as close as I would probably get to someone just chatting if we weren't like whispering or if it wasn't an intimate moment. So from this distance, they look completely natural. And I went to an event where they hadn't seen my Solotica lenses yet, and it's like a yearly thing. And a lot of people said they actually didn't recognize me, which is really shocking. But I guess, you know, I change my hair all the time. I think I had rainbow hair at that point. But anyway, the eye color was enough to throw them to be like, I don't know that girl. And then eventually they figured it out and then were very curious. All right, so let's get into the comparisons while I have crazy 2 different colored eyes. So how do I feel about the Desio versus Solotica, and where do I feel the value is there? So the Desio lenses I've only been wearing for a few days now. Solotica, I did give it a week before I gave my review, but it was such a rough beginning with the Solotica lenses that I really gave it a week because they just were so shockingly different from what I was used to. And I was used to actually the wild green. So the thickness difference, like everything just brought me back to like old times in high school wearing awful toric lenses and just being a little bummed out that I had to go back to that. And I was really debating whether I was just going to get my surgery again and not even deal with this. But it took me a little while to get back, you know, accustomed to it. So again, if you've been wearing toric lenses, it's not going to be that shocking. They are not as comfortable as a non-toric lens. So let's compare the 2 toric lenses now. Desio, Solotica, which do I feel is more comfortable? Me personally, and very, very unfortunately, I actually feel like the Desio more expensive lenses that are not annuals, they are quarterly. So that price tag is not for the year, like the Solotica lens. Like I know everyone was saying, wow, they're so expensive, but that's for the year. Like if you bought monthlies, a year worth, that's your end price. It's just with Solotica, you didn't have all the packaging and all the extra stuff. You just had the same 2 lenses for an entire year. So this is quarterly. So take that price times 4. They are way more expensive. These are way more expensive than Solotica. So unfortunately for me, I apparently have expensive tastes because I feel like these are more comfortable. And in terms of the toric part of them, even though they still, I think all toric lenses are just annoying in that they like to, on occasion, flip on you. So you can see great vision and then suddenly blurry vision. And then you're sitting there going, okay, like, come back to me, come back to me. There we go. They still do that. But then again, toric lenses in general seem to do that. There are some that are really bad. So I'm going to say that. These are definitely not the worst. I've had some really bad ones that were just trash. But I feel like, and again, I probably need to give these a solid week instead of just a couple of days. But I feel like the Desio lenses do a slightly better job, but it could be that these are exactly my size and not one small point digit off. It could be that. I can't say for sure. I was suspicious for a while that my RX was wrong because I did get a new optometrist and I noticed some of the numbers changed and I just didn't feel like he did a good job. Anyway, long story short, I do have a small suspicion that it might have to do with my RX being a tweak off, which matters because if the angle is slightly off, then every time these set correctly, your vision's tweaked. It's a little off. But with that aside, that's just a suspicion. I don't know for a fact. I'm going to get a second opinion. But based off of the two, Solotica versus Desio Toric, the Desio lenses are more comfortable for me because they are my exact size to a point decimal, to a 0.0. Like they are exactly my size. So I would hope they feel really good. And they do. The toric part of them balancing, they balance pretty well. I was just out with like debris flying. Should have been wearing safety glasses, but I wasn't. Mowing the lawn, and it was just fluffy stuff going everywhere, like all down my shirt. I know it was going in my eyes. So I can't really blame the toric lenses being a little funny there. But I mean, honestly, they've been fine otherwise. Okay, I'm kind of tired of being like half blind, so I'm gonna do this to myself again. And my neighbor's cutting his grass suddenly. Should have been down in my studio filming, but you know, had to get the natural light, no filters. Anyway, we're not here for the audio. We're here for the visual. Okay, so these should be matching now. Again, this is the Precious Gray in natural light, no studio lights, no artificial light. You can actually see my window panes there in my eye reflecting. This is what you will see in a somewhat bright setting. A little bit of your natural color showing through. They look very natural, very believable. And they're by no means crazy. It is a gray color I think anyone can wear, unlike other colors. But I really feel like if you guys are looking for a believable, natural color, I'm going to say the Attitude Collection Desio does an excellent job. I know there's a lot of people who are like only about Solotica brand. I'm just not one of them. I'm really not that brand loyal. But again, if I show you up close, the gradient is beautiful, smooth, looks so pretty. Again, that lumbar ring, like if you're not into the ring, I mean, that's just a personal choice. I have one naturally, and it is very dark. You know, I mean, my ring is forest green. So actually, you know, for me, the lenses that have the darker ring tend to be more natural, because even if it's off by a little bit, it's not as noticeable versus one that doesn't have a ring, and then suddenly, you know, a partial of my natural ring might show if they shift a little. So personal preference. I think if you go with a style that's closer to your natural style, but in the color that you want, you should be able to get the effect of, you know, a believable, really nice color. So, okay, I'm going to let you guys go because my neighbor's making another pass. And yeah, I think you've seen all you need to see. So I really hope this helped. I'll link everything below, the ones I got. I'm definitely going to try a lighter gray color. They did have a lighter gray I didn't buy the full year's worth. I unfortunately bought half of the year. I wish I only did the first quarter, but I really was so sure I was gonna love this color. So anyway, I'll see you guys in 6 months. Bye.